Hello, Samuel here. Hello, hello, hello. Uh, let's talk about ratios. Ratios. So you get a lot of grief. We get a lot of grief from the so-called manosphere. You hear that phrase, pro-black simps, and their argument is that we men on this side of the aisle kind of pander to women. That we were just a bunch of pandering. And they try to kind of lump us up with the type of routine that, say, a Derek Jackson or Steve Harvey is doing. But those guys are just kind of running a routine to sell products. Is more of a, I don't want to say scam, but it's a hustle. Let me kiss black women's butt so that they can support me. That's more the Derek Jackson, Steve Harvey routine. But normally, if you see or normally, if you notice that most of the so-called pro-black men have a tendency to kind of take the side, and there's no side. To me, it's only the black community. But if you notice a tendency among black women about these pro-black men to kind of take the side of black women, it's not that Derek Jackson, Steve Harvey thing. It's the ratios. And what do I mean by that? If I would say, hey, I need 20 people to meet me in 2 months, and we're gonna do this community project. We're gonna in 2 months we're gonna do a community project, or in 2 months we're gonna engage in a little bit of community activism. I just need 20 people, and I preach for 2 months, and the day occurs, right? It's the day of the meeting, the day of this thing. What's the ratio? Okay, the 20 people show up. What's the ratio? Men versus women. Black men versus black women. What's the ratio? Because you can talk about, who's destroying the black community, who's not carrying their own weight, but on the day, okay, when it's time for mobilization, what's the ratio? The ratio is like it'd be me, maybe three other guys, and 16 women. That would be the ratio. That's the ratio. Now I have experience even over on the continent. If I was on the continent, it would be the ratio would be a lot better. But then among the men, there'd be more of them there for some sort of other reason. So Black America, the ratio would be me, three other men, 16 women. In Africa, maybe you'll have 10-10 or 12-8. But of the men, they not all of them have showed up for what they tend to show. There's some other reason. Very often, there's more of that group that's there for some other reasons. And so, obviously, those of us who know what the ratio is, male versus female, when it's actually time for mobilization, normally, of course, we're going to normally say have a tendency to favor the people who show up when it's time for mobilization. See, you can dress real fancy, you know, and take poses and talk about masculine this and masculine that online. But then when it's time for the show up in the physical reality, and is the women, then what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And so of course, and so I guess that's how that insult, the pro black simp, it's not simping. It's just the ratio. We're seeing that when it's time to show up, we're seeing all these women and we're seeing this little handful of men. All right, so That was a long introduction to a short video because the rest of the video is short. So this guy was dating outside, and I actually don't have. That's not one of my issues. That's not my bone to pick. That's I got other fights, but that's not my fight. Okay, I only care about my woman, and my woman is black, dark skinned black. All right, so that's not my. So the whole swirling thing, I have a bone to pick with these divestors, and they go your own way, man. They're the same people, but that is not really my issue. Anyhow, so he's dating outside, and the outside woman kills him. Are we allowed to say it on YouTube? I can't remember. Okay. Well, the outside woman kills him. And then the outside woman gets taken in, and the outside woman pretends or claims she wants to do away with herself, and she's so sad, and they release her. Then the outside woman is seen the next day. She goes do a video for her OnlyFans. She's out like partying. And then I've noticed she was at a hotel, and then one of our women started screaming at her, saying, "Oh, you killed a black man," etc. I think some of you all saw that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do it. Don't go to bat for this man. Black women, don't go to bat for this man. He good. He's good. Okay, see, you have to have self-respect for yourself. Okay, if someone is not willing in life to go to bat for you, all right, if he's talking garbage about you on his Twitter, he's even talking garbage about your tribe because he was calling black black Americans akatas and all that. Is that someone you need to go to back? No. All right, he's good. He's in a better place, or maybe he's not, but that's his business. All right, I don't believe in this enforced community. If someone is with you, they're with you. If they say they don't want to be with you, then even after they're gone, they still are not with you. Was that correct grammar? But you understand my point. All right. The brother, I believe, gave a speech, came out and did a statement saying the community, asking the community to help, and because the cops are not, really investigating this, and this outside woman may get away. Help us, community. Now, again, back to the ratios. What's the ratios? What did I say? Why pro-black men normally kind of have this tendency, if there's a controversy, to kind of side with the sisters. That tendency is because we know the ratio when it's actually time for mobilization. Okay, everyone makes fun of Umar Johnson. Yeah, you can make fun of maybe he's messing around with substance. Me and his philosophy, for the most part, I agree with. Of course. All right, you can take a look at me and can kind of right. So, but Umar Johnson knows the ratios. Pro-black men who actually do activism, okay, who actually mobilize, meaning we're not just speaking to YouTube, we actually out in the street. We'll actually go out in the street. We know when you're out in the street and you look around, it's mm, for every 20, there's like 15 women and maybe 5 guys if you're lucky. If you're lucky. All right. So when the brother or cousin of this guy, Chris, who was killed by this outside woman, was asking the community to help. Who was he asking? Based on the ratio, he was asking black women. These are the black women that this man despised, especially black American women. So why would you sit in a hotel room and scream and get yourself upset about this person? All right, let the family deal with it. Condolences to the family. Let them deal with it. protect your energy, and protect your self-respect. That's my video for today. I will talk to you again later. Remember to subscribe. Thank you.